Hey, you guys, this is Al from Fashion Studio 7 Magazine. We have two amazing experts with us. We have CEO of Prostate Cancer Canada, Rocco Rossi, with us.
Pleasure.
And we have a bear. Okay, we have Todd McMillon, okay, the bear. Like we were saying, right? Once a bear, always a bear?
Bear.
It's a bear.
And a Rough Rider.
And it's attached to
Green Nation,
Green
maybe.
Nation, that's it. And we're going to talk about something about really important. You guys got to know it because it's not out there as much as it should be. It's about prostate cancer, and you came down with it.
Yes.
You were, how old?
I was 39 when I was diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Football player.
Yes. Didn't think it could happen to me. Thought it happens to everybody else. Thought I was immortal. Thought everything. Thought just won't happen. Doesn't happen to me.
And when you knock off a tight end, man, that's it. And and a little thing about that size, huh, messes you up.
Well, yeah, it really did. Especially after being diagnosed. That day I got the call. It changed my life.
Okay.
And it was.
1 in 6 men in the U.S. are going to get diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime. And if it's in your family, it's much higher. And if you're of Afro-Caribbean, Afro-American heritage, you're at much higher.
Correct.
So, you know, in Todd's case, young man, but Afro-Caribbean heritage, and in his family, you know, he's kind of 1 in 2 at that point. And so good for him for being on top of it, because a lot of guys will run kicking and screaming. They don't want to do it.
My dad, like I said, had prostate cancer. He had a prostatectomy, I want to say when I was in high school. But it was kind of hush-hush. It was almost, like we said earlier, it was embarrassing for him to bring up that he had prostate cancer and you know, the side effects that come with having a full prostatectomy. And so it was kind of just something like the black sheep of the family if you mention prostate cancer.
Now, before you were playing, you were completely healthy, I guess.
Correct.
Because you're working these guys don't know what two-a-days are.
Yeah.
Sun, heat, beating each other to death. Totally healthy.
Yep.
Any side effects? Were you feeling anything up to that?
No, nothing. And that's the scary part is I had no symptoms whatsoever. It was just me going to get checked. I remember last January is when I went and got my PSA. I do an annual physical every year. I had my PSA drawn. I remember the doctor telling me, you know, you're not 40 yet. You don't have to get your PSA. And I said, well, you know what? It runs in my family, and my uncle has it, so I would like to get checked. And he still kind of tried to persuade me not to get checked because he's like, oh, you're too young. Come to find out, January, he called me and said, you know, your PSA is a little high. Why don't we retest you in 6 months? Came back in 6 months. It was supposed to be 2.0 and lower, and it jumped up to 3.6.
Wow.
And he said, you know what? We need to get you to a urologist. Went to a urologist. Had a great urologist because he was really, really proactive. And I think that's the key, is finding a proactive doctor that wants to help men. And my doctor, he did as we say, the glove test.
That's an ugly sound, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's
he did the glove test, and he didn't feel anything. But because he knew it ran in my family, he told me, you know what, let's do a biopsy just in case. He says, because when I do the test with my finger, I don't feel anything, Todd. So he said, let's go in there, let's do a biopsy. I'll schedule you for a biopsy. And if I see something, then we'll take a sample. We did the biopsy. Still didn't see anything. He said, Todd, you know what? I don't think you have anything to worry about because I see cancer. I know what it looks like when I do these tests. He says, but since we're here, I see a little smidgen of something on the corner, but it doesn't look like cancer. So he said, since I'm here, let's do a biopsy. And so he did the biopsy, and I'm sitting there thinking, well, he said I was cool. I'm good to go. Nothing to worry about. And I get the call. My wife and my kids, my wife is from Vancouver, and she's visiting her family in Vancouver. I'm home in Arizona going to visit my dad. And I can remember I was in the parking lot getting ready to park to go to catch a flight, and he gave me a call. And I can just remember him saying, I said, well, the first thing I told him was, Doc, I hope you got some good news. And he just, unfortunately, Todd, I don't.
Oh,
and then it was just, that was his, yeah. Immediately I called my wife, and I called her. I got through the screening, and I went to get something to eat. And so I gave her a call, and I just told her, I said, I have prostate cancer. And before I can even get it out, I started crying.
Yeah.
And I just said, I have to go. And I hung up the phone.
Whoa.
And yeah, it was just because it was tough for me to even get it out, because I felt that I failed her. I failed my kids, because now I had a death sentence.
That's right.
Because I had prostate cancer.
And you have how many, 2 girls?
3. I have 2 girls and 1 boy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the pressure's put on.
Oh yeah.
You feel like you're gonna die.
But it was almost I was almost embarrassed for a little bit. I didn't tell anybody because I've always had a clean bill of health, and everybody knows if they know me, they see me running, they see me working out, and so it was almost embarrassing for me to tell people that I had prostate cancer because of my background.
And of course, being men, we just don't like to go to the doctor. For whatever reason, man, we don't want it.
Well, and you know, as Todd was saying, I mean, the old school thinking is like we don't do the testing until man's 50. But at Prostate Cancer Canada, our recommendation is guys should be getting a baseline PSA test at 40 or their early 40s at the latest. And if it's in your family and you have other risk factors, you should probably, as Todd did, have a conversation with your doctor even earlier. You know, and as Todd said, like his dad initially had some hesitation talking about it. I know of circumstances where guys never told their sons. And one really sad case that I know of directly where a dad ended up burying his son because he didn't give him that information that there was family history. So when his son did the right thing at age 42 and went for his first checkup, doctor asked him about family history, none. No problem, we're going to do these tests, not this test. On these tests, everything fine. But you know what, in a year or two, come back, we'll do this other thing. Well, guy hears clean bill of health, I'm good to go. You know, 1 year becomes 2, becomes 5, he comes back at age 47, the cancer spread in his body. And at that point, there was nothing that could be done. And all because guys are kind of squeamish talking about it.